What? C'est bien croche. Peux-tu ne pas être croche, s'il vous plaît? Tu veux-tu venir, Pico? Ici. Ici. Non. Et tu te poses des questions en raton, toi. Il est mort. Oui, je sais. Tiens. Qu'est-ce que tu fais? Qu'est-ce que tu cherches, Pex? On voit juste un gros tas de poêle. On voit juste du poêle. Ouh! Qu'est-ce que tu racontes? Qu'est-ce que tu cherches? Catbot. Qu'est-ce que tu fais, mon bébé? C'est ton coussin? Tu veux aller là? C'est une bonne place, ça? Viens me voir. C'est vas-y, hein? Tu vas faire ça? Tato! Hein? C'est pas Specs. Tu comme une place que t'as envie de t'installer? Peut-être? Peut-être pas. Oups. Grand questionnement. Anyway. Alright. It's me. Hi guys. Hi Heather. Hi Toke. Hi Melina. Hi Lise. Misha. Lana. Patricia. Yeah, I was not talking, sorry. Hi 65 Sunny Day. Hi Phoebe. I tried to set Pico up on a chair, but she wouldn't have it. Est-ce qu'elle va ouvrir la porte, Pix? C'est pas grave d'ouvrir la porte. C'est un peu clouless, hein? Pico is unable to open the door. So I had to go open it for her. She's a bit clueless indeed. Hi guys! Hi Melissa! Hi Alina! I got a handful of vegan marshmallow to snack on. How is everyone today? I got tea too. Oh, that's fine, Heather. The consequences of staying up till dawn. I hope you stayed up for a good reason. Does anyone have any snack ideas? Popcorn. Marshmallows. Oh, I am feeling much better. My cold is technically gone, even if I still have some certain leftover issues, but yeah. Yeah, these are an American company called Dendy's. They do vegan marshmallow mostly, and during fall they have these pumpkin spice marshmallow, so I always buy a couple of bags to put in hot chocolate or to snack on. Whole wheat sardines, ugh. Saltines and tea, yum. Doing well, might practice watercolor foliage during the stream. Awesome. Heather was cleaning. Oh, you just returned home from DMing, Lise. Wow. Marshmallows. Phoebe says, I always have a cough for a week or so after a cold. Yeah, I'm still coughing a bit, but I think it's because the sinuses are not all cleared out, so there is some stuff there, and I still blow my nose a bit. Sorry. Hey, Ellen! I can't remember if I asked this one, but do you like pumpkin spice lattes? I don't think I've had one that was worth the name. I love everything spicy, but I might be more of a chai latte person. You just landed... Did you mean did you take the plane? Or is this just the expression? Alright, so... just gonna start this out. I've been using this Pentalic thingy for swatches and mixes and practice and all of that. Because honestly, I really don't like it for painting. If you just look at my core swatches, the mixes, like you see all this cauliflowering action going on, and it's just annoying. Hey, Elena, yeah, you're quite knowledgeable about sinus stuff. Can you hear Pico? Pico! Qu'est-ce que tu fais? Hey, Caroline, hello. Ben oui, c'est ça, fais tes griffes sur la porte, espèce de raton. T'es où? Qu'est-ce que tu fais? Just an expression, I got a ride home in a car. Oh, awesome. Yeah, Pico is a bit crazy at the moment. I don't know what she will do. Qu'est-ce que tu vas faire, poulette? Oh, I think we might have a cat cam, guys. Oh, maybe not. Silly kitty. Meow, meow. You could hear Pico. I always start with the drinks without any sugar in it, because it's quite easy to add sugar in, but it's really difficult to take it out. Has anyone noticed many brands of watercolor journals are backordered? I use them for plein air. If it's the same kind of issue than we have with the bee paper, it might be because it's all from the same company, and I think one company bought another recently and they are sort of transitioning over, so there's kind of a delay in production. Encore toi? Qu'est-ce que tu fais? C'est chaud. Oh, tu sers à rien, Pico. So it seems like Pico's thing is to claw open the door, come in, jump on the chair that's set up for cat cam, jump off the chair and go back out. Ah, t'es pas sorti. She's crazy. I think she's having a crazy fart moment. You don't like strawberries? Oh Well, I'll take them off your hands. I love strawberries. Oh no, Heather. Yeah, maybe it's related. Maybe all that together is part of the issue. Or if not, maybe it's that since some things are back ordered, the other things sell out more, so they're more difficult to find. The palette mud color, nice. Péco, c'est la pire. It makes me sad I don't like them. Oh. Right. Yeah. I'm just trying to sit comfortably on my pile of cushions. The great fun of being a short person is that there is not a single chair that is sort of ergonomic comfortable there for you. So technically my chair to be, I think it's at the lowest height or the highest one, or anyway, I still need to put cushions on it because I'm not sitting high enough. Where are the adult booster seats? Maybe people started hoarding paper too. Maybe. Sorry about this. Alright, so my idea for today was to start on the next batch of Patreon rewards I have to do. Yeah. So that's it. That's my plan. I need to think. Sorry, I have to make 6 of them for this month. So I'm gonna start with these half sheets of arches, and I will cut them in half. I need to get the cutter thingy. Me. Hoarding paper and supplies in case of isolation. Amisha says, I'm also noticing that prices are going up on supplies. Not huge amounts, but noticeable. I wonder if that might be because of the fact that a lot of these things are made in China. And there is a bit of a sort of low in production because of everything that's been going on with the COVID-19 virus. So maybe the prices have hiked up a bit because things are more rare. Oh, Ellen says, Amisha, you're not wrong. Cole Arts, who distributes Reeves and Winsor & Newton in North America, suggested retail prices have gone through the roof this year. Well, that's a good reason not to buy any Cotman, I guess. Sorry. I'm always terrible at the maths of the math of cutting everything in half, especially since those are like arches sheets, so they're not exactly 9 by 12. They're like 9 1/8 by, I don't know. See, so there's always, that bothers me so much. I don't want to. Toilet paper and watercolor paper, the things one needs during the apocalypse. It's not gonna be the apocalypse. People are overreacting, and that's not helping. is this... Maybe I should be wise about this instead of dumb. Like measure it and mark the halfway point so that when I cut it I can align it properly instead of being a dumbass. So, is this that's a much more satisfying cut. No, it's not. Oh, I can't cut paper to save my own butt. Good grief. Right. Come on, come on. How is this? See, this one is nice. All right. I have a stash of half sheets right next to my table, so that's where I'm digging them from. Some yeah, cool. I did it. Plop. Lana says it was on the news today that the top items being sold out due to the corona hoarding are pasta and toilet paper. Lovely. Alan says, like, my wholesale price hasn't gone up much, but the suggested retail price ridiculous. I am keeping the prices at my little store down as much as possible. I'm pretty sure that's appreciated a lot. A year ago, a 12-sheet Arches pad was $11. Now it's $12. Alan says, my examples are the canvas boards. I am still being charged less than $1 for anything under 8x10, but the suggested retail price starts around $4. It's nutty. Yikes, $28 for 12 sheets. Blah. Arches is $30 and above. Oh, good grief. I try to buy the Arches pads when they have a sale. And my favorite Canadian store to get them from is Curry's. Because I think they are sold for like $18 usually. And when they have a sale, it's like maybe $14, $15 per pad. So yeah, I'll take any discount I can get. This is the paper I use for almost everything that is finished work, so I have a good stash of it though. I did some reorganizing recently and I have, hold on, I have like 13 pads of Arches in stock. I'm good for a while. The Arches blocks are really, really expensive though. The pads, they're only glued on one side, so they tend to be a little more affordable. And like 9x12 is fine for me for now. Or anyway, I'll have to make do with it, you know. For someone who sorted out brushes recently, this is... Where is the brush I'm looking for? Oh, it's not here. Oh. It ain't here. Oh, grab this one. Arches never goes on sale here, but there are coupons 40, 50, and if I'm lucky 60% off. That's awesome, Melissa. That's the other way around. I don't think I've ever seen coupons for curries or dessert. The closest thing they do is that they will have events that are like, oh, you have 20% off on any purchase of $100 or more, you know, that kind of stuff. So if you are in need of purchasing a lot of supplies anyway, that's a good time to purchase them because you save a bit of money. But I've never gotten coupons, and there is no Michael's really near me, so I don't think I've ever set foot in a Michael's. And their website, the Canadian website, is absolute crap. So I've tried looking for stuff on there to order, but it would seem as if the Canadian website from Michael's has very, very little in terms of art supplies. So, yeah. Oh my gosh, I was just attacked or tackled. Chaos literally flew at my shoulder side of my face. Oh no, Heather! Are you in one piece? Alan says, even I have used Michael's for their clearance sales. I'm still working on some Arches block I got for like 70% off there. Oh, wow. That's really nice. So I'm not missing much. I don't feel like I'm missing much. I'd still be curious, like, if I ever was in close proximity to a Michael's and had a bit of a spare time, I would be really curious to visit it, but... Hobby Lobby does have okay sales. Do we have a Hobby Lobby in Canada? Phoebe says, God, I hate their website. It's so hard to navigate and it keeps giving me information for a location in Sacramento. I'm in northern Nevada. Yeah, that's... Michael's accept competitors' coupons and will price match Amazon. That's nice. But yeah, I don't think... I don't know. Like, as far as I can tell with my very minor engagement in stores and all of that, coupons over here are sort of on their way out, in the sense that a lot of companies have started having a point system where your purchases give out points, and when you accumulate a certain amount of points, it gives you like a kind of like a $5 off, or you know, that kind of stuff. So yeah, there used to be like coupons in the flyers for like the grocery store, and you could save like, oh, $1 off on cans of beans if you buy 3, you know, that kind of stuff. But now it's all through their point system. You have a card that they scan and all of that. I really like their small travel house brand, what do you call it? From Hobby Lobby, huh? Patricia says that she has Michael's nearby and that I am missing nothing. High prices, poor stock, but they do carry bee paper sometimes. Oh, speaking of, I wrote to bee paper because someone suggested it in my last video, and I was like, that's a good idea, you know? And I've written to companies for less than that, so I have absolutely no qualms about writing to a company. If they don't want us to write in, they won't share their customer emails. You know what? Like the contact email. Anyway, I wrote to them and I asked, I was like, hey, what's up with the bee paper? I kind of use it a lot, and I was wondering if it will be back or if I need to start looking for an alternative. And they wrote back really quickly saying that, yeah, like I was saying, the company that makes bee paper was recently combined with another company, like they purchased whatever, like company stuff, but in terms of the impact on us, the customers, it just means that the production of bee paper has been delayed a bit. And as soon as they have stock again, they should send it out to their distributors and that kind of stuff. So it technically should be back. I don't know when, but they told me that it would be as soon as possible for them. Which is great news because in terms of affordable cotton paper, the pickings are slim. Strathmore 500 is the other one that I quite like, but it's still a bit more pricey than what you can get for the bee paper. Like a pack of 50 sheets of 6x9 bee paper is about $20 or so, like 22. And the pack of 25 sheets from Strathmore in 5x7 is around $10. So I guess that in some way the Strathmore paper costs a bit less per sheet, but it's also smaller. And with the way I do my swatches, like I still prefer having this 6x9. Like I prefer this format because at least I have kind of enough space. 5x7, that's like you take off 2 inches here and you take off 1 inch there. So that's kind of small for swatches. I would find a way to make it happen if I had to, but yeah. And they don't really sell like the Strathmore sheets in 9x12 that I could cut in half. Like they have 5x7, 8x10, and maybe one bigger size than that. So Heather says that, oh, she's a little scratched. It wasn't intentional injury. I just wasn't expecting it. I think he's wanting to become another shoulder rider. Yeah, that's the thing with cats, is like sometimes they just, if you expect them, it's much easier to brace for them and limit the risk for being scratched. But yeah, if you don't expect them and you sort of move a bit, they will try to cling on to you, and they usually do that with claws. So not great. Phoebe says, Michael's is kind of what I call a mommy crafter store. They have nice craft supplies, but not a lot of good fine art supplies. If you want fine art supplies, maybe check on Blake. For the American people, I guess. Like, you guys have quite a nice selection with Jerry's Artorama, Blick, what's the other one? Jerry's, Dick Blick, there's a third one. Anyway, there's like 3 main art supply companies that have often like free shipping to the US if your cart reaches a certain amount, which is really easy to do with art supplies. And they have like a really interesting selection of stuff. Sometimes I go over there and I put a few things in a cart that I would love to try, and then I go through checkout and then I close the tab, because the one that gives me a shipping estimate, the shipping estimate is always like $40. And I'm like, 40 American dollars? That's like $50 Canadian? That's insane. Oh, Cheap Joe's. Yeah, that's the one I'm forgetting. Thank you, guys. They all have a dude's name in them. Yeah, Dick Blake, Jerry's Artorama, and Cheap Joe's. But yeah, the one that has the mimic brushes, you know, the fake squirrel brush, there's a really interesting set that's like 5 brushes to try, and it's like $15. And it's like, I would be really curious to try these brushes, but the listing on Amazon Canada doesn't exist. Like, they don't have the mimic ones, the squirrel mimic. And the listing on the US Amazon won't ship to Canada. So I put a few in the cart, and I really like the Polar Flow brushes too. Like the white synthetic tackle ones, especially the ones that have I love clear handles for some reason. But yeah, I mean, you have like $20 worth of stuff in your cart and it still costs you $40 to ship it. Like, yeah. Especially a bunch of brushes. You could put that in a small mailer envelope and it would cost like $5 to ship out. Not great. Ellen says, yeah, the Michaels near me brought in Daniel Smith this year. I was surprised and miffed because that's what I wanted to do for the store. Oh no, I'm so sorry. And they're probably gonna boost up those prices. Joe, Dick, and Jerry instead of Tom, Dick, and Harry. Oh, that's perfect. The unexpected jumpers. Yeah. Tucker did that about 2 weeks ago. He flew at me as I walked away and ended up attached to my arm like he was going down a fireball. It was not... Oh no! How scratched up did you end up to be? Yikes. You need like protective gear. Like in the same kind of mesh that the butcher shops have. You need chainmail. Or either that or an outfit entirely made of like carpet so they can grab on the carpet and not onto you. Alright, so that's all prepped up. Grab my sketchbook. I didn't have much time, but I still did a few studies earlier of what I want to doodle. Yeah, those are really meager studies, but you know, it's always really hectic on Saturday morning. I have no idea why, because it's not like there's a lot going on. Oh, dude. Well, Phoebe, it really depends. There are well, if you prefer to have dogs, that's also fine, but if you really wanted a cat, there are a few options you could seek out. You could inquire to shelters if they happen to have cats that have been declawed. Declawing sucks, but some people still do it. I think a lot of vets won't do it anymore, but I'm pretty sure there's a couple of cases of declawing. If you provide enough places for the cat to do its thing, it won't claw as much. Like my 2 cats, the only time we've been clawed from them as adults is if we were not careful while playing. Right? If you play with your fingers, there are chances you will end up clawed, but not on purpose. The cat is just playing, you know. Maybe our cats think we are like trees that walk around. Kittens sure do. Kittens definitely do. I love how everyone in the chat is coming up with a lot of explanation about cats clawing, scratching, or not. I mean, your cats are called Havoc and Chaos after all, I suppose. And Bruiser too, so there's a bit of expectations there, I guess. Accident, hi. Lab Accident says, I have lived with people who have cats. In the end, I end up speaking to the cats like they're people, and it seems to work better. For instance, excuse me tends to get my friend's cat to stop. Yes. Carolyn says, I am currently having a lie down, watching this, and my cat is curled up on my head like a beret. Aw, you're not gonna be cold, for sure. Heather says, if you get a kitten, do not use your hand feet as a toy. Also, gently touch their feet and extend their claws during cuddle sleepy times. Make it a relaxing thing. That makes adult nail trimming much easier. Yeah, I agree. I've been watching Flatbush Cat too, and there was a litter of kittens that the dude rescued, and they were in a really unfortunate place. They were like in a weird shed behind wood planks and like really not ideal stuff, you know. And he had gloves on because feral kittens are pretty hardcore, and he had to grab them by hand to get them out. He could not like safely trap them or all that. And just that, at least for one of the kittens, just that instance associated hands with unpleasantness or danger. Like, it took only one time for the cat to associate both, and it took a lot of work to break that association and sort of show the kittens that human hands are safe, they're okay. You don't have to be nervous every time someone approaches their hand to you. And I think it's the same with play. If you end up playing with your feet or with your hands with a kitten, they're gonna make this association that it is okay to play with that. And usually cat play means scratching, biting. Like, they don't mean it to harm, but we're not cats. We don't have fur to protect us. So yeah, it's really it's stuff that should be taught to everyone who has kittens. There should be like a pamphlet that says it. Hey, Glitter Crayon, hi. Oh, yay! Elise says Laura, which is a kitty, has lived with my mom since Wednesday, and she had her first nail trimming Saturday. She's amazingly brave and trusting. She is such a good kitty. I love that story. Elise has shared the story of Laura, the kitten, on the Discord server, and that's the best kind of story. I really like stories about cats that choose humans. It's a bit of a magical moment. Same goes for puppy bites. Yeah. Yeah, whatever you sort of teach your pet that is okay to play with. Like, if I think it was Mr. E was telling me this, but if you create a game that the pet plays, say you get the dog used to playing with your hands when you have gloves on, well, you're never gonna have an intact pair of mittens or gloves ever, because it's gonna be like, oh, this thing is a toy, I can bite it, I can play with it. Hey Susan, hi. Oh, brushing teeth though, what a nightmare. I know all vets are like, well, you need to brush your cat's teeth, and I'm like, excuse me? What? Have you tried brushing your pet's teeth? I agree. Heather says, I truly believe Bruiser was played with quite roughly. He used to bite so often, especially when I reached over him. He is so much better now and no longer sinks teeth in enough to cause bruising. Well, usually. Yeah, when you got him, he bit you really, really hard. And it was really surreal because he did it because he really thought it was play, but you reacted like this was not play and not cool. And that kind of stunned him into like, whoa, wait. I thought this was fine. Like, there was a moment of I think you could sort of tell that it clashed with what he was used to. But yeah. Patricia says, Sydney, the cat, is very good with hands, but challenging with feet. You mean your feet? Or you touching her paws? But we're getting there. Her paws are a no-go zone. Oh, she won't bite, but runs off and hides. Nope! Vroom! Daphne will wriggle and has actually vomited from how stressed she got from her teeth being brushed. Oh, poor... That's a Dachshund, right? In French, they're called chien saucisse, which is basically sausage dog. I don't think it was entirely play, sadly. His body language was defensive. Oh, poor Bruiser. I'm so glad you found him. Sorry. You love that, the sausage dog? So yeah, they're called chien saucisse, so it's even funnier when you see one in a hot dog costume for Halloween. But the good news is he's safe and happy. And he's currently sprawled out in a sun puddle. Oh, oh, Heather. Happy cats make me happy. Patricia says that, yes, Sydney plays with her feet. Patricia's feet. She jumps out and grabs my foot as though it were a mouse. I just play dead or howly heaven. If I have no slippers on, oh. Yeah, Sydney is still a young cat, so that doesn't help. The cats would attack a lot more problematic things when they were younger, and they kind of lost that as they aged. The worst thing was, pajama pants. Sometimes they have you tie them up with a cord or something, and it happened at least once where I didn't tie my pajama pants because there was also an elastic, and I was like, pfft. And it was like this ribbon in the wind, and one of the kittens jumped to smack it, and they pawed it, but then their paw landed in my thigh, and I had a bloody gash in my thigh, and I was like, why? Why? Phoebe says, yeah, we got my first fashioned hot dog costume when I was a little kid. He surprisingly tolerated it even though he hates clothes. Well, he had to. Hot dog costume is a classic. Aw. Hey, Lee! Hi! Oh, no problem. Patricia says that Sydney is very aware of her approval or disapproval when I've said nothing, so she looks up at me sheepishly and then disentangles herself trying to be cool. I love that. I love that side of pets where they do something really dumb and they can pick up on the fact that they shouldn't have done it, and then they try to act like that was the plan. Yep. Absolutely the plan. That was my goal, and everything's good. I'm gonna lick my shoulder a couple of times. Oh, the pajama pants string. Ditto here with Bruiser. He doesn't fully allow nail trimming yet, and that one was big. That bruise lasted for weeks. He hit the vein. What? That's so dangerous. I'm so glad you didn't bleed out. Yikes. But yeah, oh my gosh, you learn not to let the pajama string. Like you just, even if you don't tie it, you just put the strings inside the pajama. Because, whoa, not a pleasant place to have a cat scratch. It's like really, really soft skin. Yeah. Ellen says, I love when cats try to shrug off falling or something. I totally meant to do that. That's hilarious. That's one of my favorite things. Lee says there really is nothing like the sight of a cat post falling off the back of on a couch in their sleep. Oh my gosh, yes. Like they fall on the floor and they're like, huh? What? No, but I meant to do that. That's why are you looking at me? I'm fine. I've seen my cats do it. So this is the first time I have cats that are really twitchy about licking themselves like mid-play. Sometimes we play with them and they will take a really brief break to frantically lick a part of their body. Not the butt necessarily. But yeah, and I wonder if it's because of the nature of their fur, which is really, 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 really fine. And like I wonder if it bothers them in some way. But yeah, from what I can remember, the cats I had before, they wouldn't do that. Like they would just either play and that's it. But the cats, Scout and Pakodi, will really like be super intent on jumping, pouncing on a toy, but suddenly they will break their concentration to go lick their side a few times, and then they come back to playing in a way. Hey Steve! Hi! How's your weekend so far? Yeah, if anyone has questions about cat, I think Heather is the one in the community with the most experience dealing with cats. So yeah, good knowledge. I don't think Patricia is on Discord though. So for people who maybe missed the announcement at the beginning of the stream, today I am working on the next batch of Patreon reward sketches. Because the way it ended up being, like, every month there are people who have been a patron for the last 3 months, and every 3 months I send out these original paintings. So sort of every month I have to do a certain number of paintings to send out. Ideally, because I want to be on time with this. I don't want to be last minute and unorganized, so yeah. And this month, well, this batch is going to be badgers, because I love badgers. Patricia says Sydney does that play lick thing all the time. Chases the heck out of a ball, then skids into a bath, then back to play. That's so funny. Lee says some cats will stop and groom if they are overstimulated to redirect surplus energy. That would be really plausible with Scout and Pecco. They can get overstimulated at times and they will like bite you, especially Scout. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned the time she tried to bite my knee, which failed because my knee is like a round surface with no grip on it, but she was like overstimulated and she lashed out and she went like yap, and it did nothing, and she was so confused after. Sorry. Hey Mikey, hi Kevin. Hi and bye, I'm getting cat scans on Caturday. Oh, best of luck Mikey. It's a timely day for cat scans. I just hope that it doesn't end up being too unpleasant. Yeah, I'm not surprised that Heather would hate fleas. Hey Mallory, hi. I love badgers, kind of a conflict since I love Dachshund too. How is it a conflict? Laura is super flea infested. Oh no! Oh, I'm glad she's got a treatment. Yikes. Fleas are a nightmare. If they get in a house and sort of find a way to settle there. Ugh. I was so surprised when we picked up Linus from outside that he had no fleas at all. I was like, how did this happen? Because that's my main worry about bringing in cats that needs to be rescued, is the fleas. Because that's a lot to sort of manage and try to get under control. Fleas are a pain in the butt. So yeah. Dachshund are used to hunt badgers and foxes. Oh, I didn't know. I wouldn't think that Dachshund would be... They have such tiny paws. They're so close to the ground. It doesn't sound like woodland would be comfortable for them. I just treated all of mine last weekend, but I don't think it's working. Oh. That sounds like a really strenuous ordeal to manage all of that, Heather. Do you use the the flea treatment that you just put on their the head or the back of the neck, and through grooming, it sort of spreads out. Patricia says Sydney was flea-free after a life outside, so I was amazed that she had no flea. Yeah! I agree. Like, same with Linus. I was like, it was definitely dusty, but flea-free. And I was like, this is a miracle? Thank you. Long and low, they're meant to dig. Oh, okay, perfect for getting into underground dens. Yeah, but I mean, dude, badgers are mean. Badgers, they don't take no from anyone. You know what? They're built to rat them out of their burrows. Stout paws for digging, low bodies for tunnels, and strong jaws for the hunting. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Oh, yikes! Amisha says fleas are awful. Once when I had no pets, I cat sat a cat with fleas. The cat went home, the fleas did not. Minus pets, we became the buffet. Is it buffet or a buffet? Buffet. I don't know why, but buffet sounds really weird. But the badger or fox hunt is very dangerous for Dachshund because they often get trapped in the tunnels and die. What's wrong with humans? Good freaking grief. If you want to chase a badger, put your own freaking hands in there. Ah! What? I didn't know they were called Dachshund. I've always learned that they're called wiener dogs. Oh, wiener dog! That's the thing. Because I was trying to remember, and I was like, in French there's chien saucisse, which is literally wiener dog, but I couldn't remember wiener dog for some reason. I was like, sausage dog? Not quite. What's the best flea product these days? Thankfully, we haven't needed any for a while. That's a very good question. Buffet. Okay, sorry guys. Buffet. Sounds so... Yeah, buffet is a French word. Buffet is pronounced like in French and German. Buffet. Or buffet. That was my really lumberjack accent. Lee says, yeah, they said at the rescue that the fleas are building resistance. We'll be buying the other kind next. But yeah, like with human and mosquitoes, some cats don't get fleas. Oh, that's interesting. I'd never thought of it that way. In the same kind of idea, Mr. E always gets bitten by the mosquitoes. I'm usually scot-free, like no bites, no nothing. He gets all the attention, poor guy. So, oh, that's really... I hadn't thought that it could be the same for cats. Like, some fleas are like, ugh, not that cat, you. And then other cats are like, delicious. Oh, wow. Friends of us never used a Dachshund to hunt foxes for that reason. Well, no one should hunt foxes. What? I bought my kitty off Kijiji from a family with a house. I naively thought they wouldn't have fleas because he was on a stray. Their house must have been infested with... Oh, you, Mallory, I'm so sorry. Humans are the worst. I want that on a t-shirt. Seriously, is there a t-shirt somewhere that says humans are the worst? I would wear it all the time. I would go out wearing it. And yeah, I am a human too. I include myself in the problem because... Good grief. What? We got 3 new kittens in the barn. Oh! Found them because of the noise they were making. That's so... Oh no! Oh no, Steve! I got to the sad part. Oh, poor mama. Dalmatian has adopted them. Oh, little bottles of goat milk. I don't want to cry. Poor mama. Ginger hair scares the mosquitoes away. That would explain it both for me and for Linus. Dude, don't talk about dead pets. I'm gonna cry. I have a really poor tolerance for sad pet stuff. Like, it takes me very little to explode in tears. I don't know why. It's kind of stupid, but there it is. Which makes it really difficult to follow certain accounts, like Kitten Academy or the Kitten Lady. Like, it's you follow those with the risk of being very sad and a blubbering mess every once in a while. Yeah, I know it's life on the farm, but I don't know. I have a really strong sensitivity. It doesn't make sense. It's not a logical thing. But like, if you want to make me cry, just start telling sad pet stories. And that's gonna work. It's gonna work perfectly well. Okay, let's talk about happier stuff. Though I am really glad, Steve, that you decided to take care of the kittens. That's awesome. I hope they make it. Neonatal kittens are really a lot of work. And it's really like indecisive for a while. Every time I see those sad videos, I have to find my cat and squeeze them. Same. I have to go to my cats and I cry over them and I put my face in them and they're like, Mom, I'm sleeping, go away. But I'm like, I'm so glad you have a good life. Hey, welcome back, Heather. The winter is a break from the pests. I'm glad it works for ticks too. Yeah, same, though. If the winter keeps on getting warmer, we're gonna have a problem. Because ticks are gross. And I hate them a lot. Oh, thank you so much, Steve. Oh, that reminds me, I really need to draw a few more. Steve says, my great-granddaughter and I had a great time coloring and painting your drawings. So thank you for that experience. I'm so glad. I really enjoyed drawing the line art for the coloring pages. It's really fun. It lets me practice like my digital skill set, which is really neglected if you think about it. I used to draw mostly digital. There was a time where all I would do was digital art, and it has its advantage. Like it's definitely ecological in a way because you don't use paper. How to... Oh, I need to blow my nose. I told you guys, I just gotta think about sad stuff and I get all blubbery. Don't forget to wet a paper towel. Oh yeah, you have to make kittens potty. Because usually it's the mom that does that. For any, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, Steve, if you find yourself in a situation where you don't really know how to deal with the kittens, if that happens, the kitten lady on YouTube, she specializes, like her specialty, is that a word? But she cares for neonatal kittens. That's what she does, and she has a bunch of videos and she explains it really well. So if you have any kind of question, she can be a good resource for that. Control Z feature would be lovely. On digital art, it is quite great. But yeah, whenever you do a lot of digital work and then you go back to traditional, you kind of have this reflex to seek out the Control Z. Like I do it with my left hand, so sometimes I will draw and I have the left hand come in and be like, where's the Control Z? Where can I Control Z? And I'm like, you can't. This is paper. You grab an eraser and you try and do it again. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. That's how this works. How do I... What's the pose I'm trying to do here? Trying to draw the hand, the paw holding a kind of a writing instrument. Farm people are not heartless. No. That I don't think anyone has said that. Good grief. If you have live critters, you got to take care of them. That's the whole point, isn't it? Like, farm life is really, really more exposed to like life, the cycle of life, actually. Like, farm animals would have babies, and sometimes, well, Dalmatian is doing that. Wow, she's licking their bum. Wow, she's awesome. Pet moms are amazing. Like, absolutely amazing. If anything, farm people have a lot of heart because they are fully aware of the consequences of every decision. I love that the Dalmatian is taking care of the kittens. That's gonna be such a funny... Because Dalmatians are like medium... Well, they're bigger than a cat. So you have these tiny baby cats and big doggo. Traditional art is like, this is reality, punk! Pretty much. Hey, Steven, hi. Oh no, Marla, hi. The cold is really, really annoying. This head is really big and it bothers me. See, if this was digital art, I could select and resize it, but nope, you have to erase. And I think that might be why I did digital art first, because it gave me this option. Like, when I was lucky enough to successfully draw a thing I wanted to draw, and later on realized that it wasn't the proper size or anything, it would be so disheartening to have to erase it, because you're like, I did it. I finally managed to draw it right, and now I have to erase it and draw this again. Really? So I think that's why digital art might have been a bit more interesting back then, because you could select and move stuff around. Makes me wonder the personality of the cats in the future. Cats with dog attitude. That would be really fun. They could play fetch. But they have siblings, so it's gonna be a weird experience to have like this sort of... I wonder if they will process like the fact that mom is a thing and and siblings are a different thing. Yeah, this doesn't really work. How long does one's art stay up on Instagram? Well, forever or until you remove it? Have 100-pound chicken. Oh wow. Steve says that they had a border collie that they had the sheep raised. So the collie was raised by sheeps. Very protective of the herd from coyotes. Yeah, for sure. Wow. That's fascinating. Yeah, what's that? Why is that, Kevin? Kevin says, I just made my friend's birthday card and I think she's actually going to kill me when she sees it. Whoa. Hold on. I'm gonna just eat my last marshmallow. Okay, so yeah, hi Joy. What I'm drawing today is oh yeah, I'm drawing badgers for Patreon rewards. I did the cats for the last batch, and I thought that was really interesting. And like the cat mages were from our comic, so I was like, yeah, our comic has really a nice pool of critters that I can take from to draw, you know, for like I can decide like, oh, I'm gonna draw badgers. Well, I have a lot of options for what to draw. There's not just one badger in our story. There's a whole like group of them, like I did for the cats. So yeah, basically I like ideas that I don't have to think of necessarily a brand new idea for every drawing. I can have this theme that groups everything together. And yeah, in the story, the badgers are sort of technologically advanced group, so they're scientists and they do reports on stuff that happens in the forest, and they have a whole bunch of like things that we sort of set up, and there will be more about them later on in the comic. Clementine's cat is called Big Badger, though maybe in Russian. Aww. I call Peko Raccoon all the time. Has anyone seen a side-by-side of American versus English badgers? The American badger looks rough, freaky. Really? I saw that there's a Japanese badger and it's like a badger but ginger instead of grey and black. So Kevin says, basically it's both of us, but I drew us extremely ugly. It's from a reference photo of us both drunk as hell. That's funny. That's a funny card. Well, I think it's funny anyway. European badger looks like my avatar. It does. It really, really does. They're the most like common image of badgers, I think. I think like when people think of badgers, they think of the European badger first. Honey badgers are the most terrifying. Lions and hyenas avoid them. That's impressive. Only thing I would want to run into less is a wolverine, maybe. I like that they're badass and that other pets are terrified of them. Other animals are terrified of them. Steve says, I just love making cards and postcards. That way reading is hard. I can get rid of all the stuff I make. You can feel sorry for all my friends and family. Cute Peko Raccoon. Yeah, that's what we do. We call her, even in French, like we call her the raccoon. Or in French, it's raton. She got that nickname because of her stripy tail, like a raccoon's tail. Even if it's definitely not similar in shape or size or all of that, it's just stripy. Joy says, I call Bunny Bunny. Like a rabbit, like bunny. Good morning, Bunny Bunny, or hello, Bunny. Aww, that's cute. Wolverines are kind of the North American equivalent of a honey badger. I agree, Malvina. And Malvina says that I met two last summer, two badgers, I guess, in the forest. They are so cute. Not so cute as magpies, but still, I have a hard time reading today. What's up with that? Magpies are adorable, but like so many animals are cute. We have two magpies in the comic. We had to include magpies in there. Corvids are awesome. Oh man. I'm kind of bummed because the town I lived in before, there was a lot more crows and ravens around. And now here I feel like we see them a lot less, and it makes me sad because I miss their quaw, caw, caw, and it's nice, strong, loud noise and beautiful blackbirds. Congrats on getting accepted to art school, Kevin. You have to share your portfolio or your art Instagram or whatever on Discord if you want. Love to see it. Bunny has nice soft fluff like Bonnie. I've taken to calling Sydney Moose, or hold on, Moosalicious. It sounds like delicious and moose mixed up. Reminds me to not overfeed her. Hey, Tsukaboo, hi. Yeah, Peko is nicknamed Raccoon, and Scout's most recurrent nickname is Tuna. I don't know why. It's just it fits. It fits her well. She's Tuna. She's tuna face, big tuna. Phoebe says, we had magpies knock on our door and cackle when we were fooled one time. That's awesome. Ellen says, I used to split my breakfast with the crow while waiting for the bus before school years ago. He was a cool birdie. Corvids, they're awesome. They're so intelligent. Oh man, I love corvids. I should make corvids for the next round of cards. It's a good thing. It makes me practice drawing something other than cats. I don't think I could ever tire of drawing cats, but it's still nice to, you know, diversify a bit. Petit thon. En fait, c'est gros thon. Because she's a lot of tuna. She's not a big cat, but she's a lot of... What's the... Mr. E came up with the 10 pounds of cats, 10 tons of attitude. Which describes her really well. Je l'appelle souvent gros thon. Face de thon. Oh, that's awesome, Tsukaboo. Tsukaboo says, where I grew up, we'd go to a lake where magpies, stellar jays, and meadowlarks were. My dad had a knack for being able to tell the difference and taught me how to identify meadowlarks. Cool. I'm scared though, because I don't know much about the animation industry though. Well, you will learn about it. If that's the point of the school, they will teach you. Lee says, I call my bunners numcern, which means the butts in yeah, calling them butt something is also a winner. Like, we have a French word for buttocks, and I often call them small buttocks. Because you know how cats love to put their butt in your face? Well, yeah, that happens. Phoebe says, there was another time at another house where these two old ravens mobbed a hawk who went after my dachshund. She didn't even notice them smacking into the... Oh. And Michelle, you're so right. That's why it's called school instead of a job. They will teach you what you need to know. And even jobs you learn a lot, so... I went to animation school, so I know a bit about it. A long time ago. Any good schools in the US? There's always a bit of a double situation about schools. Some people benefit from going to a school and some people really don't. So sometimes even the best of schools, they don't necessarily work out to be the best. Like if someone is motivated, they can learn from any school. What a a good school, what they call a good school might have that's a bit different is they might have more possibility for networking with other industry people. But aside from that, anyone who is really motivated and really want to work hard can do good in any school. That's just my take on it. Because some really fancy art schools, sure, they're nice and all, but they're so pricey too that it's kind of I don't think people should necessarily associate good school, good formation, and expensive. Like, that's not necessarily the case. Hey, have a good lunch, Phoebe. I've heard the portfolio is more important than the degree sometimes. For jobs, absolutely. Yeah, they look at your CV like a bit, but what really is the deciding factor, I feel, is the portfolio. They need to be able to see what you can do. And the only thing the resume can provide in terms of information is possibly like how often you've changed job, how many jobs you've had. Like, if you've changed job a lot, they might suspect that there's something wrong with your personality or the way you work in a team. So that doesn't necessarily look good on a resume, to have like a bunch of short jobs that you quit or were fired from like really quickly. That's the most relevant thing that I feel you can observe from a resume, because seeing how someone went to this or that school, if their portfolio is good, it's gonna be good, and if it's but, it's gonna be but. How does one break into illustration biz? No idea. Do people still break into stuff? I feel like you can sort of build it up to have enough to make a living out of it, but it's never like a big break and suddenly everything is awesome. You always have to work hard to get things to work. There's always that need for traction. Like, no one gets super famous and people like solicit them all that much. You still have to do the legwork, I feel. There's CalArts, I think. It's expensive as hell though. I need to chop some of this off. MD Campbell Mark is a good source for looking at the hustle of illustration. Yeah, he worked in advertising first. He's probably one who could really answer questions about the market in the US more, and since he managed to make it a real job, he probably has a bit more information than someone like me would have. Oh yeah, thank you so much, Sakaboo. Yeah, my cold is well, the cold itself is gone, but there's still like there's always a bit of a leftover after a cold, like still blow my nose and cough a bit, and you know, the fun leftover stuff. Otto is still struggling with her cold though. The one we named F2020. It's so funny because I there's absolutely no way I could have given her my cold. So I know it's not that, but whenever I like in joke call it Eve 2020, I always like, oh, I'm so sorry for, oh no, I couldn't have. That doesn't come from me. Not my fault. But yeah, there's this, I don't know, this Canadian knee-jerk reaction of being, I'm so sorry! Yeah, I saw on Instagram, I think, Mark has painted a big mural in a cafe, I think. That's pretty cool. Ultimately, for any kind of job involving drawing, what personally I find makes a difference is how much you're willing to keep growing and keep learning and get better. Like, I've seen people who got into like the great schools, and it is not because you go to a great school that you will necessarily figure it out more than anybody else. But yeah, then again, I'm speaking and I'm not an example of anything much. I'm pretty much middle ground kind of place. So far I've avoided the flu this year. Just jinx myself. Yeah. Wash your hands, Carolyn. Thank you so much, Carolyn. Have a great weekend. Oh, sorry. Stretching. Stretching is good. I like to do a first pass, then let that sit for a bit, and then I can take a fresh look at it, and then I see all the mistakes, and I'm like, oh, well, all the mistakes. I try to see all the mistakes. I'm sorry. And then I can try and fix them. But it's really difficult on a single stretch to draw, sketch, see the mistakes, fix them, ink. That's not where I'm at yet. I still need a kind of a moment to refresh my brain between sketching and inking. I mean, you've seen me go straight into inking during certain live streams, but yeah, oftentimes whenever I take a fresh look at that drawing when it's done, I'm like, oh, I should have fixed that, and oh, that's not a good shape, or you know. I gotta be careful to stretch my neck because I have to turn my head that way to look at the chat. And if I do it too much, I end up with a crick in my neck at the end of the day. I gotta stretch. Oh, have fun. Good luck, Mallory. Need to go learn a design program for a job I'm trying to get. Best of luck. Amisha says, using fresh eyes is solid artistic practice. It's why people turn their work upside down or use a mirror too. Yeah, that's a trick. Like, if you do digital, you can flip your drawing. If you do traditional, you can... Well, that can help, but it also can be confusing because the shapes don't really make sense in that thing. But the mirror trick is usually rather good because you can keep like the it's the same kind of shape and it reads as the same thing but the other way, so you can see if whatever you've drawn has a lean or something that really doesn't make any sense. That's another thing too, is sometimes when you make art into a job, it can take away the fun of making art. Lisa said, to be honest, I am so glad I don't have to worry about trying to make my art into a side hustle. I can just let my hobby be a hobby, no stress. Hey, no problem, Misha. My brain is like, doesn't want to read stuff today. Of course, it would be nice to sell something every once in a while to help pay for my hobby, but it's not strictly necessary. Yeah. I would love to sell more stuff, but part of it is because I'm not taking the time to make any of it available online, I guess. I don't know if if I took the time to list original paintings for sale, if they would sell actually, or if it would just be there and not actually very interesting. Yeah, that's it. People have a lot of interesting things to say in chat. Joy says, yeah, I like that art is strictly hobby only. And also, I don't have to be skilled that way. Ellen says, I sell when someone asks for a price, but I try to just do my own thing and realize that not everything I do has to be monetized. Yeah. My only issue, like, I don't work with the goal in mind to necessarily sell, but I still produce a lot of art and I have a big stack and I'm like, I can't keep all of this, especially if I continue making them, you know? Yeah, Lise, I've taken out the paintings we were discussing about. I found them. You'd at least sell one or two because I've been asking. Yeah, if people want to buy, by all means, ask away. Whatever paintings I'm really, like, are really important to me, I will try and keep, but like 90% of what I do, I'm perfectly fine with selling. It makes room for more art, so. But I'm not going to sell too cheaply either. I would not feel right if I sold a painting for $20 that a pro would not sell for less than. It is, I completely agree. I would feel really weird trying to sell a painting for $150 to $100. There's kind of a growth, from what I've seen, like the artists that I see that sell originals well, usually they started selling their originals for a decent price, but I mean, it was like, you know, the lower section of decent prices, and they usually sell out of the number of paintings they make available in batches. So since they are hiccups are bad today. But yeah, since they have a big fan base and they managed to sell everything, I noticed that the prices like increased slightly, and the complexity of the paintings too has evolved. So I feel like it's an organic way. Like, sure, your first paintings might be a bit less expensive to buy than your paintings will be in 5 years, but also in those 5 years you should have grown. You have more experience. You might deliver paintings that took more time to do. So it's not just increase for the sake of increasing. But yeah, I mean, selling a painting depends on the painting, but yeah, it's difficult to price. Steve says, always wanted to draw and paint and such, but work and life and what had to be was done. Does that make sense? Now, when I'm older, I can do what I want and like, and not what I must. Yeah, that's basically the whole basis of retiring, technically. I'm all out of tea. I drank. There's a tiny bit left. Oh wow. Ellen says, my friend who makes a living at it now sells her oil paintings for between 2,000 to 5,000 and she gets it for them. Okay, but she's been years working up to that level. How big are the paintings too? Like, there's a difference also between selling a 9 by 12 painting and a 22 by 30 inches painting, you know. I find just thinking about how to price straight up stressful. It is! It is! Amisha, they wanted a poster-sized paintings. A painting for $50? What? No! Hey, welcome back, Phoebe. Hey, Alex! So Ellen says that her friend usually works from 11 by 14 up to 30 by 40. But her paintings are really about concept and highly whimsical, so a lot of work goes into them. Yeah, it's not... I was not implying anything like that. It's just that I was wondering, like, is that price for like something a bit smaller? Like, I know people who bought a really expensive oil painting, but it was also really big. So, you know, the bigger the painting, the higher the material cost, the more time you need to spend on it to get it done. So it's kind of logical that the prices will increase for something that is bigger. I want to sell my art, but I don't think it's there yet to sell. Well, keep having fun and keep growing. There might be, you know, sometimes it happens the other way around. People inquire about buying stuff. Amisha says that the same person will charge $450 for a 2-layer wedding cake. Wow! Cheapskate much? Oh man. When I studied graphic design, I once had a kind of an offer like that. Like someone, I was beginning, and keep in mind that I wasn't good at graphic design. Like there's a very valid reason why I didn't become a graphic designer. Not my strong suit. But yeah, this person, this sort of relative, was like, "Hey, I need a logo for my company, and my company is named like I'm gonna like make up something, but it's named like Butter and Beans, and I would like the end to be like an ampersand, and then have fun with the ampersand and create a cool logo with that, and yeah, I could pay you $50." And part of me really didn't want to do it. So I never really followed up on it, but even if I wanted to do it, like $50 for a logo, go to hell. Just go see a couple of actual graphic designer and get quotes from them quickly. And then come back to me and try to keep a straight face when you ask me for $50 for a logo. You're gonna get a Times New Roman like butter, ampersand, beans. There you go, $50, thank you. Like, I don't think these people realize that, especially freelance graphic designer, with all the costs and all the taxes and everything, $50 Canadian dollars has got to be around the hourly wage they have to charge for creating something. So basically, you want me to spend about an hour on your logo. And no retakes, no nothing, you know. Lead says, thanks Ellen, I think that's a fair place to start, and then one can always raise prices as one gets better. I don't want to have to earn money, but I'd like to know a price if someone asks. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if when someone says, oh, I like this, I want to buy it. And you're like, you try to compute in your head, like, how big is it? How much time did I put on it? Like, it has happened to me a few times to, like, quote the price. And I think it was people who were more used to buying art than I was to selling it. And one time the person was like, no, that's not enough. Listen, my budget for buying something from you is this amount, so this is what I'm gonna pay you. And I was like, thank you. Awesome. Alan says, I got a childhood friend who wanted me to come up with a 12-page coloring book for her friend's kid's birthday party. Not even the friend's own kid. The friend's kids. For $100. Yeah, 1,000 gallons of no. Well, for $100 you can spend at most, what? Maybe 3 hours on it, tops. So yeah, it's gonna be clip art galore. People forget that researching references and gathering them and all of that takes time, and it's time that you still need to be paid for. It's part of the whole thing. Yeah. Lee says, wow, they really don't get how much time and effort what they're asking takes. Yeah, people assume that, especially since things are made on the computer nowadays, that the fact that it's made on a computer makes it like instantaneous, or like the computer does the work, and you're like, not exactly. It's a lot of, man hours and thinking time and still like a lot of things to make it happen. Steve says, art is a bad business. It's a tough business for sure. It's a really tough business because you always have to hustle, and I don't think most artists are really savvy in promotion and advertising and putting themselves forward and creating opportunities. Like, it's a lot of business work, and not all artists are good business people. I feel like looking for references takes up as much time as painting itself. I agree. Oh, they wanted a princess firefighter cute idea. Well, it would have been a bunch of firefighter and princess clip art. Jeez. But yeah, you did a good thing by saying no to that. That makes no sense. Who says artists need to eat and pay bills? Nah, you don't need to survive. Art is your passion after all. You are having fun doing this. Why should I pay you? I'm not gonna say anymore because I'm gonna get really bitter and jaded and annoyed. Can you believe this? I love, there's been a couple of videos like that where people take this kind of, the most common situation you see with creative or freelance businesses, and put them in different situations. Like one would be at the restaurant where you have this couple that that they go to the restaurant, they order in like one steak each, like a plate that's, I don't know, $20. They eat the full plate. And then the server comes up and says, okay, well, here's your bill. You have to pay $40. And the girl like, no, I don't want to pay. It's not what I wanted. But you're like, yeah, but you ate it all. Yeah, but it's not what I wanted. So I'm not going to pay you. And the fact that they put those situations that are very common in freelance world in other situations that are very common to most people, it really showcases how silly it all is. Great vocation, very tough business. Yeah, I agree. Most people do not put a value on creativity and originality. Oh, hard business. Oh, it is. It is very hard business. And it's very difficult to justify to someone that an original artwork is going to be like $100. Some people are like, well, it's just a piece of paper with paint on it. And you kind of have to explain to them, like, yeah, but all this work goes behind acquiring the skills to make this happen in the time it took me to make it happen. And overall, you pay for the full thing. You pay for the artwork itself, the time I put in, the materials, and also my experience throughout the years of getting better at this. Like, it's not just like you punch in, you punch out, that's how much you pay. Like, artists have to keep practicing, keep getting better. That means investing a lot of time on stuff that you're not paid for. But so that whenever you are better, you can sell more, if that makes sense. I'm not a very good business person either. Yeah, commissions are also a difficult thing to manage, but well, to be able to just sell the art you make and not take on commission, that's a very surreal level of... I don't know many artists who are able to do that. The only way I've seen people somewhat be able to do that is if they draw fan art of stuff and they sort of cheekily sell it, because I don't think you're supposed to sell fan art of other properties, but it happens. But yeah, there's only one artist that I know of that can make a living out of selling originals, and there's a demand for their work. Most other people I know of, they have to take on commissions, because people are not just gonna, unless you're very fortunate. But I mean, if you're fortunate and you find upon the right few people, or if you have a really big following, then that might work to just do whatever you want and people will buy it. But it's usually not where it starts. The problem with commission is not commissions, is that some people kind of don't choose well who to commission. Like, take me, I draw cats and badgers. If someone comes to me and say, hey, I want to commission you, and I'm like, okay, what do you want to have drawn? I want you to draw a big robot, a mecha, you know, with mech and technology and stuff. And I'm like, why did you come to me for that? There's absolutely nothing in my work that is indicative that I'm good at drawing that. You should definitely seek out someone who has an affinity for that kind of topic. But if someone comes to me and says like, oh, I would really like it if you could draw my cat as an adventurer cat, that's something that I will do well and that I will be super happy doing. And I'm absolutely fine with that kind of commission. Actually, I love it. But yeah, I mean, I've seen... hold on. Screechy. I've seen it happen, and it has happened to me too. The people would come to me and ask for stuff, and I'm like, but why did you come to me for that? Like, you might like my work, but what's the point of commissioning me for something that I'm not good at? Is gonna pay me like $3 an hour because it's gonna require so much work to get to a point where I like the drawing. And like, it's not great for anyone. Well, you could find someone who draws mecha well and they will deliver something that is much better. That was a long ramble. About exposure, people, guys, people die from exposure, so keep that in mind. Yeah, exactly. Ellen says, say a car takes 20 minutes to fix. You're paying the mechanic for the knowledge and experience to fix it, along with shop space and tools, not for the 20 minutes. Exactly. But you don't have to explain that necessarily to someone who goes to the garage, but you have to explain it to someone who commissions art or who sees an original for $100, which is freaking stupid. Yeah, Misha, that's exactly it. Though that's still infuriating to pay. But Misha says, like, when I had to pay a furnace repairman $75 to push a button, I paid $5 for him to push the button and $70 for him to know what switch. Yeah. It's always a bit of a moment where you're like, when the person is there for like 10 minutes and you pay them $75. You're always like, okay, fine. But yeah, that's exactly it. Steven says, art with the problem-solving skills is something most people cannot understand. They do not see the 10,000 drawings that were trash. So many years of learning. A lifetime, in fact. Exactly! Like, you don't wake up one day and you're good at drawing. You have to come out so many... Like you have to output so many bad drawings before you even get a good one. And then you have to keep doing it, which is somewhat close to the definition of insanity. Jay says, what is your rate for Cartoon My Cat commission? It depends on the size you want. Usually my go-to size is like 6x9, and it would be about 40 American dollars for a Cartoon My Cat with no complex background. Like, I will draw trees and bushes all day long, but don't ask me to draw like a house or a car. Yikes. Hey San, hi. Hello Scooty. Salut. C'est pas un beau bébé. Hello. Ah, c'est temps d'aller se faire dorer dehors. The sun is back in the office window. So I wonder if Scout will get back to her usual sun roasting period in the summer. It's usually at this time of the afternoon, around 4 p.m. here. She comes over and she sits in the sun and she gets all toasty and warm. She has a routine. And Misha says, I made sure that money bought me the knowledge of which switch to. Yeah, that's the thing. Because, you know, like, if I had all the money, like, if I won the lottery and I had plenty of money, I wouldn't mind paying the worker every time there's an issue or whatever. But you gotta find the right balance between what you can pay and what they charge for it too. Steve says, artists are much like any skilled tradesperson. The years of training and acquiring the necessary skill. Exactly, but it's like people don't question it if a chef, like a culinary chef, has a great salary because they have many years and they cook great food. But people will definitely question it for artists, which is really much of a bummer. Like, there's you guys understand because the community here is artists, but yeah, the fact that people don't necessarily understand like all the jobs that are like more creative. Like, I think like your run-of-the-mill musician has the same issue too. Like, not someone who becomes a big star, but someone who does music for TV commercials and jingles and, you know, that kind of stuff. And you're like, well, you like music, it's gonna take you 5 minutes, it's just a 3 seconds long jingle. And people are like, yeah, but I have to, you know, put in all this work into it. Lee says, I feel like if a company would be able to give you any kind of meaningful exposure, they'd have to be big enough to pay me properly. Small firm equals small exposure equals no rent payment. Yeah, exposure doesn't put any bread on the table. Allô? Tu veux-tu me faire ton tour? Eh, Bicha. Salut. Viens te me voir. Viens te me voir. Il est là. Il est une grosse bibite. Hey, Scooty Poo. Ellen says, I hate the "you're so talented" line. It's nice that they see it, but damn it, I've worked on it hard to be this mediocre. Oh no! Aw, come on. Steve says, I am still making my bad drawings and enjoying it very much, thank you. Having the time of my life, in fact. That's awesome. That's really, really awesome. Well, I'm glad that you think it's affordable, Joy. It's kind of what I feel comfortable. Like cats, especially for a cat cartoon, I'm really, really comfortable doing it. If it was like a dog, I might struggle a bit more because I'm not as familiar with dogs. Hey, Scooty. Hey, grosse bibite. Hey, Monica. Hi. Yeah, the thing is people should really switch out talented for skilled. That's what I try to do. Helly says, I hate, wow, I wish I was that talented. Cool, practice for 20 years. Exactly. Exactly, that's what I tell them. Even my parents are like, oh, you have so much talent. I'm like, no, it's not talent. It's interest, perseverance, and hard work. Talent is not something, I think people call it talent, but it's because they don't see the full picture of it. They don't see like oh, this person they are naturally so good at art, but we don't know like that this person grew up in a household of artists and had access to a lot of books to learn and a lot of like resources that other people did not have. So they look talented because when you first get in contact with them, they already have all this experience, but in fact it's just skills that have been honed. Yeah. Lee says, I can tell you that the belly dance business has this same problem. A lot of people think it's easy money. Trade secret, it's not. I don't know why they would think it's easy money. I mean, I see belly dancers and I'm like so amazed by their ability to dance that. I mean, what? Hello, baby. Yeah, Tuna Face is here. Well, all you see now is Tuna Fur. You should put your face under the camera, baby girl. Eh? Manque d'amis. She didn't have enough friends. Steven says, Facebook friends tell me I am talented when I post like guitar bits. I've been playing for about 50 years. So you're skilled. That's basically the thing. Yeah, watching color on a page is such a fun experience. From experience, I know you can draw dogs well. Oh, thank you. It's less it would take me a bit more time to I would do it anyway, but it's much easier for me to draw a cat because there is not that much variation in cats. Like, they're all quite similar. Oh, t'es cute. Ah, t'étais couchée dans le linge propre. She was definitely sleeping in the fresh laundry because she smells like fresh laundry. Monica says, some people will pick up on things quicker or have a natural inclination for things, but you still have to work at it. Yeah, I wonder, though, if what we call that natural inclination is not a result of context. Like I said, if someone grew up in a setting that valued or facilitated certain things, if that's not what we see as natural inclination. I don't know. So Lee says exhausting, but also difficult to learn and perform well. Thousands of hours training, and the costumes are expensive, and the makeup takes a lot of time to do. Yeah, I knew about the. Fini? Tu t'en vas? Tu veux aller sur la chaise? J'ai enlevé le coussin, par exemple. Tu veux y aller pareil? Hello. Salut, bébé. Qu'est-ce que tu fais? Oh, tu fais encore des câlins? Big baby girl. It's a good thing you can't see her right now because she's showing you her butt. qu'elle veut faire? Ah, t'as des pic-pic. Hold on, I have cat issues. Oh. Tu le coussin? Tu veux le coussin? Allez, saucisse. Non, non, ça c'est ma chaise. Non, non, tu me voles pas ma chaise. She wants to steal my chair. Dog muzzles are hard to draw. Like any animal that has a long nose or a muzzle, it's a really difficult shape, I find, to see in perspective in your head. Oh, thank you so much, Patricia. That's what I love. I really have a great time drawing the facial expressions of cats. Ellen says, as said Bob Ross said, talent is pursued interest. Anything you're willing to practice, you can do. Exactly. He knows. Ah, a puppy. Ooh, that's a lot of work, puppies. My chair's already warm. Yeah, they like my chair. I think it's because all the cushions, it's really comfy. But I kind of need my chair right now. You know. Monica says, if my cats got on camera, you'd either see a black blob or a cat butt, seeing as one cat lacks a tail. Oh, really? Scout definitely knows where warmth is. That's why she seeks out the laundry pile often, and she will burrow in underneath her blanket a lot, which is always hilarious. There's never been a time when that was not funny to see. Like I check up on the cats regularly during the day, and Pico is usually a super tight donut somewhere, and I'm like, oh, that's Pico, and I'm like, where's Scout? And then I realize that there's a blanket with a lump underneath, and I'm like, oh, she burrowed herself underneath there by herself, and she's in this bubble of warmth. She only does that in the winter too, which kind of cracks me up. Oh, he was a grown puppy. Oh yeah. Tsukabu says, I got a new chair for my workspace in my room, and my cat Rowdy loves it so much. So I sacrificed an old towel so he could sit in my chair when I'm not using it, and I won't have to worry about him poking holes in it. Yeah. Cats, they kind of like to claw at things to get your attention. I dance a little bit, but I have zero butt. A shimmy with no butt is just sad. Oh no. I have butt for at least a person and a half, so. Speaking of belly dancing, I know we were talking about Nightmare Kitchen last week, the show with Gordon Ramsay, and there's one of the episodes of the restaurants that are not doing so good. And there's one of the episodes that the owner of the restaurant is absolutely clueless about what's going on, genre. That was so French. Yeah, she's absolutely clueless about how bad things are and why the restaurant is not working. And the same owner has this moment within the dinner service where she dresses up in belly dancer gear and dances around the restaurant. But it's absolutely not the theme of the restaurant. Like it doesn't really it doesn't fit well. It's just incredibly awkward, and I'm like, this is such a missed opportunity. Like there would be possibly a good way to incorporate this element within the restaurant, but being in full dinner service, and the owner, instead of doing their restaurateur job, they go change and they come back in and belly dance, and then Gordon is like, this is not good, and she doesn't get it. Like it's just so awkward. Oh, you saw that one, Toke. Yeah. It's kind of a malaise. You're like, oh no. There was also the same kind of situation in the episode with the Greek restaurant, where the owner would have his son go dance, and like it's just so it's like, not that it's a bad idea to want to incorporate these elements, but there's a time and a place for it. Like it's perfectly fine if you want to have a special event about this, but it shouldn't be instead of having a working restaurant, you know. My shimmy would cause an earthquake. I can't dance, I have no coordination at all, so I would probably just fall on my butt. I love watching my cats roll over and almost fall off things. They always look so surprised. Like, oh, hey, oh. That was, I intended to fall down, that's perfectly fine. There was an episode where he came to Denmark. I have never cringed more in my life. Which episode was it? And he tried to speak Danish, but Danish, but failed really bad. Oh, well, he tried at least. I watched an episode that was in France, and Gordon spent a few years in France when he was learning how to chef, and his French wasn't so bad, but it's still always weird to hear someone that speaks a different language, because what is noticeable is not exactly as much like the pronunciation or whatnot, but it's where they put the accent on certain words or the intonation of things, that sometimes you're like, even I need a moment to process what he just said in French, even though I speak French mainly. Like I'll always give a cookie to people for trying, though, because it shows that they care enough to want to try. But yeah, it's not always easy. Like if someone asked me to speak Japanese, I would probably butcher it a bit, but I would definitely try. I think I'm not gonna start a fourth one, a fifth one. I'm gonna take a break because it's been like 2 hours and a half, and I think I need a break. So 2 of them are not yet drawn. I have an archer. I can't see my screen, so I hope that's in screen. An axe wielder, a note taker, and a dude with a staff. Yeah, same, Alex. Alex says, I do give credit for trying. So many people just flat out refuse. Especially if you go into another country. Like, whenever I see tourists here that don't even learn, like, bonjour and merci. 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 It's not the same thing in English. Merci is hard. Thank you. So, yeah. And bonjour is hello. Like, bonjour, please, and merci would be the ones that I feel are kind of mandatory to know. Like please and thank you. That's kind of the basic of it, isn't it? Anyway. My sweethearts laugh at my attempt at French R's. It's the most difficult sound, I think. The French R. Comme raton. It's not the same as the English R. And in English, the most difficult sound I figure out is the THRGH, you know, throughout. It's a nightmare. You know what? I've never read or watched Redwall. I think it's kind of really gory, and I'm not really up for that. Bonjour, please, and merci. It will be bonjour, s'il vous plaît, and merci. And excuse me. Yeah, I usually use pardon when I want to say excuse me. Like you wanna shimmy past a bunch of people. I would say pardon, pardon, excusez-moi, pardon. But it's Montreal, so sometimes I say sorry, and it also pans out. Hey, thank you so much for being here, Steve. Have a great weekend. Keep us updated on the kittens and the Dalmatian mummy. That's adorable. Oh no, Ellen. I'm so sorry. Ellen says, last time I was in Quebec with a friend who just expected everyone would understand English. If you're in Montreal, there's a bigger chance of that happening, but anywhere else in Quebec, you're not gonna pan out. It left me scrambling to try and translate with my terrible French. I can speak French if I hear it first, but I just can't roll the R's. I can see my poor old granddad Benevolent cringing. Well, you tried. Yeah, bonjour is hello. Please is s'il vous plaît. Merci is thank you. And excuse me would be something like pardon ou excusez-moi. Alright, the end of stream announcements, because that's where I'm at. If you want to keep on chatting with us during the week, we have a really awesome Discord server. The link is in the description or in the chat, thanks to Heather. And it's basically a platform for chatting. So you create a login, a username, password very easily. And you can join up and take part in the conversation we have during the week. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. I also have links to Patreon and Ko-fi. I don't know if my Ko-fi is there, but oh, Heather has linked the Ko-fi in the chat. Ko-fi is like a tip jar. It's usually in increments of $3. Really like just like a, you know, when you tip to the restaurant, you can tip people through Ko-fi. Patreon is a recurring subscription model with rewards, including these that will be paintings eventually, and Patreon rewards. And yeah, I have a main channel too where I post my regular videos. This is the channel for live streams. Lana says, can you use bonjour as an angry phrase to say bye, like good day, sir? No, you can't. It would be like au revoir for bye and bonne journée, monsieur, for good day, sir. It's similar, like bonjour and bonne journée. It's kind of similar, but it's not exactly the same kind of thing. Hey, Barbara, you just came in and I'm done. I'm so sorry. Well, thanks for being here, Misha. Have a great weekend and week, everyone. See you all next time. Take care. Bye-bye.